All right, welcome guys, welcome. We're back with ChatTactic number 24 for the year. This is going to be one that's really just looking at the Steam Forex Fest. I actually was going to pass it over and then just play some another game today, but then because there's so many good games out at the moment. But then when I woke up, I actually thought, oh look, I'll just have a quick look at it on Steam because I haven't actually looked at what the actual list is. I was blown away by it. This I think is the best, most condensed Steam sale I've ever seen of really good games. Like I was going through, because normally I go through thinking, what are the handful of games that are that are worth playing out of a sale, or there's just so much. You're really trying to pick through find the gold out of all of the out of all the diggings or whatever it is. And this actually was. I was just thinking, oh wow, this is incredible. I was actually looking at it because I wanted to go back to sleep. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I was thinking I'll try to sleep in a bit. So I was thinking, even if I miss today's stream, so be it. But just when I saw the list, I thought, we've got to do this. We've got to actually got to do it. So I am streaming this to both to YouTube, which is what I normally stream the ChatTactics to, and across to Twitch as well. So by all means, guys, just sort of jump in with comments and questions and things like that, and then we'll sort of go from there. But there's as I said, the list of these games is unbelievable. So let's go through and have a look and see. Unless suddenly I'm going to get a list of things that aren't going to be that good, but we'll see how we go. All right, so I'm just going to start with featured and just work my way through. So Age of Wonders, basically we've got that one up there, 40% off. This isn't very often on sale. So next, actually going to go through next games. Let's just do it that way actually. So we've got that's still Age of Wonders. Is it just all Age of Wonders? Maybe it is. It's got auto advance. We'll see what happens. I can always just sort of push it to the next one anyway. Oh no, it is going back. Okay, look, let's just go back and start in that case. I think if I hover over, it'll stop. Yeah, so I'll just hover it over there. So I'll just go through the featured list. I'm not sure how many are in that particular list. Age of Wonders 4, for me the best game ever made. So I'm thinking it's fantastic. 40% off though is probably not the greatest special, but I would certainly be thinking if you don't have the base game, start off with the base game. The base game is great. You'll get a feel for whether you like the game from that. And then if you've got all the various expansions as well, and including the one that just came out this week, which is the Archon Prophecy, which I love. I absolutely love that one. But it's just the game just gets better and better and better with the DLC. So certainly that is for me a if you don't have it, I would definitely recommend it at 40% off. Just have a quick look at our list. 30% off for Civ 7. It's not showing us, unfortunately, the how these games are received on by the community. This one I don't believe is very well received. I haven't played it. I wasn't sort of included in the list of influencers that actually get to play the Civ games, and so I did actually ask for it, but they said no. You can't have it. I'm thinking, okay, that's all right. That's fair enough. I didn't really play much of Civ 6. Even I didn't mind Civ 6, but I didn't play a lot of it. And I'm sort of looking at the what people are saying about the game. I think it's either mixed or just in the positive area. I'm thinking, okay, look, I may be that may be a good thing. So anyway, I don't know about Civ 7. Really don't know if it's any good or not. So Impertinent is saying that the new DLC is great too. I think you're talking about the Age of Wonders, I would assume. It is incredible, actually. It's probably my favourite DLC, just with what you can do with it. We might come back to some of these and have a bit of a look. So no, I don't know about Civ 7. Hearts of Iron 4 at 70% off. Oldish game now, but it just keeps on getting better and better and better as well. They do actually keep on updating this game. So I haven't played this for a long time, I mean years, but from what I can understand, the game is really solid. It really is sort of just getting better and better over time as well. So even just the base game. So I would say that 70% off is a really good deal for Hearts of Iron. These will be just the base games, of course. Stellaris, 75% off. Again, that would be a must buy. Again, I don't play much Stellaris because I play so much Distant Worlds, but Like it's a lot of people love this game. Like this one does rate very, very highly. People see this as the as the best space Forex ever made. I don't put it in that category. I think, like, for me, there are other games that I've enjoyed a lot more, like Distant Worlds, for example. But I think at 75% off, you've really got to think, that's, if I don't have the base game, that would definitely be worth having a look at. So, and that's certainly changed a lot over time for Stellaris. So, and again, I haven't looked at the ratings for Stellaris for quite some period of time, but it seems to, players seem to gravitate to it and enjoy it. So, certainly players who come and watch my Distant Worlds streams, there's often, questions as to what the difference is between those two games. And, in that sort of sense, it's, like they are, like it is a game that people love. So 75% off, that's a very, very good deal. Victoria 3, this one sort of launched with it didn't launch well, and I don't know if it's actually improved. I played it at launch. I actually loved Victoria 2, like I really, really enjoyed it. But this one I just couldn't really get my head into. Like it just, so I sort of bounced off this one a little bit. And I sort of, it's one of these games again that I think I should really go back and try it again. So it's been on my little list of games to have a look. But at 70% off again, if you like these sort of games, where it's capturing an era, and I love the Victorian era, to be honest. I love the 1800s, sort of those middle eras, those middle years of the 1800s, like when you've got, you saw there before the rise of the dreadnoughts, things like that, rise of flight, just all sorts of really interesting technology sort of came out of that era, and that then impacted strategy and warfare and tactics and so on and so forth in fairly interesting ways. We went sort of from the Napoleonics of the big lines sort of firing at each other through to trench warfare essentially in that period, which is, as I said before, interesting. I mean, even tanks you could argue are sort of coming at the end of that era. So there's a lot of very interesting things that do sort of happen during that particular phase. Anyway, let's have a look at the next one. Now, the X4 Foundations, this is 75% off. This, again, is a game that I've got, and I haven't played much of it. I've sort of had a look at it. When Homeworld 3 came out, I was very disappointed in Homeworld 3. So I sort of was looking at X4 because it sort of was, it had the depth, of a Homeworld type game. And and I was really impressed with what it did, but I just didn't play a lot of it. I'm sort of fairly time poor with my games, unfortunately. So I sort of tend to pick on just a handful of games to really, really try to play a lot of. And this was a game that I definitely could have sunk more time into. So I'd say 75% off for that one. Another great game to pick up. We're back to Civ 6, 90% off. Civ 6 was well received, so I'd say that's a good one as well. Again, I didn't play a lot of Civ 6. What I find, I struggle with the eras in Civilization. I just don't like the eras. I don't like games with eras, and I tend not to. So that's why games like Old World are more appealing to me than Civilization. So for me, that's sort of something that's not really. Actually, Impertinent saying the modding scene for Victoria 3 is wild. I haven't looked at that at all. Actually, that's interesting. That is interesting, actually. I'll have to have a look at that to see. In fact, let's go back and do exactly that. I'm sure we can just go straight to the game here. Mostly positive. So what does it rate now? 77%, 70%. So recent times, I always like to see, where is it currently, like over the course of its life. 70% is actually pretty good for one of these sort of games, but it's sort of showing that it's in recent times, it's really accelerating up, which is actually quite interesting. Let's have a quick look at the community hub and the workshop. So what are we getting? Let's go to the most popular. So shocks the system. Has new interactions for the political movements, eloquent treaties. You know what I'm looking for in my head is steampunk. I don't know if there is a steampunk mod, because it looks like there's a lot of them. Like, wow, 8,000 mods. Wow, that is a lot. Is there a steampunk mod? Let's have a look. Steampunk, is that one word? It is now. Yeah, there is. Okay, there we go. Imperium Mechanica. So Roman Steampunk Tech Expansion. Okay, that one rates pretty highly, and Clankers rated 5. This is Clankers and Dullness update. So now that's let's have a look at this one here. Oh, okay. So there we go. So Impermanent is in sort of saying there's a big fantasy steampunk total conversion out there. I forgot to name it. I'm streaming to YouTube. I better just double check because I haven't had any comments from YouTube at all. Actually, just let me have a quick look and just make sure I am actually streaming. Yep, I am. That's fine. For whatever reason, I don't know if people are chatting in on YouTube, but yeah, I'm not getting much chat. I normally get a lot of chat with these when I do these sorts of things. So anyway, welcome everyone. At least it's actually working. There we go. Dave's saying, yep, yeah, YouTube is okay. There we are. All right, so let's go back out and just press F11. Then open that one up. Okay, that's all fine. So this is Meat and Mechs. So, but it rates very, very highly. How many people subscribe to it? I'd like to have a look at this. Actually, this looks. This could be interesting. Yeah. Anyway, I won't get caught up. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. Sorry, just press F11 and just go back again. I can just say the Realms of Exeter. Realms of Exeter. Oh, this one here. There we go. Range of. So this is total conversion. Okay. Wow. Actually, that's interesting. That looks really, really interesting. Thank you for the for highlighting this. Actually, this makes it even more compelling now to come back and have a look. Nearly 4 gigabytes. Wow, that's big. Just updated like a couple of days ago. How many people have actually downloaded that one? It's a bit hard to tell. Actually, there we go. Lots of visitors. 33,000. Wow, that's actually awesome. Thank you for that. I'm not logged in here to go and grab that, but that's I'll have to try to remember that one. So so that's something that we will have to check out at some point. Realms of Exeter. I'll try to remember that one. I'll probably forget, but anyway, that's we'll definitely have a crack at that one at some stage. What does it want to do? Yeah, we'll allow the cookies. Come on, go back. It's still, we're still not getting back to there we are. We're back there again. So we've got Europa Universalis there as well. Actually, I'll just press F11, just get it full screen. So I'll just go back and just see what we missed. Oh, it's back now in a different loop with these featured ones. Okay, Europa Universalis 4 at 90% off. Yep, must buy as well. What have we got there? Northgard at 84% off. Again, there's not a bad game that I've come across, really. This is a game, again, that I've played a bit back in the day, but I haven't played it for a while. And it was actually a very, very enjoyable game. It was sort of like if you took the original Settlers, and which I loved, and then sort of made it even more engaging. That's what you end up with Northgard. Whereas the sort of Settlers like Settlers 2 for me was the high point. And then if I had to do like a progression, I'd forget all the other Settlers that came after Settlers 2 and go straight to Northgard. So it sort of puts it in there. So hi Joram, how you going? And Supreme Plague. So yeah, no, that's so that anyway. Northgard is again at that's now. There's a lot of DLC. There's not a lot of DLC. There's some DLC for Northgard that I think once you start playing it, you'll then be wanting a little bit more. Like it's actually it's a very, very cool game the way it sort of does actually go and work. So anyway, Northgard, another must buy. Dune Spice Wars, 60% off is probably not a greatest deal, but again, this is actually a very, very good sort of real-time strategy game as well. A game that I really did enjoy. So this is something again that I've played a fair bit of this, to be honest. It's interesting the way that, like, the balance of the factions is quite good, the way that they've sort of ended up doing it. I don't tend to play a lot of these type of games, and it's something that I do, that I have been looking at at sort of doing at some sort of stage, with to actually sort of to play more of this sort of type of games. It's more but the mechanics work very, very well. So again, 60% off isn't the greatest deal, but it's still a very, very good game. Sins of a Solar Empire, 30% off is not a great deal, but a very, very recent game that with some DLC that's sort of come out of it. I found this game really enjoyable to play, just with the user experience. So it's sort of one of these, again, a game that I really do quite enjoy. Another real-time sort of strategy game. And again, I don't gravitate to these sort of style of games, a bit like the last one with Dune and similarly with Sins of a Solar Empire. So I don't love them, but I do like them. And this is another one where people who like those sorts of real-time type games where you are moving sort of largish forces around and doing different things would really enjoy this game. It's a beautiful-looking game. Really, really a beautiful-looking game. Then we've got Gladius at 90% off. Sometimes you get Gladius even for less. You sometimes get it for free on Steam, but in this case, I think this is when I was just having a quick look, Gladius was the only Steam game. Sorry, the only Slytherin game that I came across. No, there was one other as well, which is also a must-buy that I saw. There may be more. When I started glancing at it, I thought, oh my God, there's so many great games here. But Gladius at 90% off. If you don't have it, that's definitely worth grabbing. It's oldish now, like it's about 7 or 8 years old, I guess, the base game. But they still keep on bringing out more DLC. And it's one of these games where the base game is incredibly good in terms of the content that you get. So many of these sorts of games that you, like, with Warhammer, end up being quite minimal when you actually first get into them. But that's not the case with Gladius. With Gladius, you do actually ultimately end up with 4 very, very good factions to play with and against, in the actual map itself. And they work very, very well. So you'll certainly know if you like the game just based on those 4 factions, because they do play so differently. And then if you do like the game, you'll probably then want to be starting to get the different DLC. So at 90% off, this is Australian dollars. That'd be probably around about sort of like $4.50 US, I would guess. Just looking at the price there. It's a cup of coffee. You're going to get a lot more than a cup of coffee's worth of value out of the game. So definitely, it's a large cappuccino, maybe with a little biscuit or something on the side. So it's not quite as cheap as a cup of coffee. And not that I know what the price of a cup of coffee is anywhere else other than here in Australia. But in Australian dollars, a cup of coffee, a large mug of cappuccino, is going to cost you around about $5. So it's a little bit more than just a cup of coffee, but it's certainly worth grabbing. So we should do them in cups of coffee. So they should be rated in terms of how many cups of coffee it is that you're going to be sort of buying out at some sort of barista. It's worth of games. I used to do that with games. I used to think I used to equate it to movie tickets, like whatever the current movie ticket price was. Like, do I get that many hours worth of value from a game by spending movie ticket money, essentially? So in this case, that previous one, where is it, Gladius? That's a third of a movie ticket. So here in Australia, so for that, when you put it in movie ticket money, then it's definitely worth grabbing at 90% off. 50% off for Gal Civ 4. That's actually a good deal. Again, I tend not to look so much at the deals that are sort of anything from 50% or higher, like in terms of the 30%, 40%. I tend to skip over them because but 50%, I think, again, for this game is a good game, and you get a lot of content in the base game. What you're essentially getting in Gal Civ 4 is all of the DLC type editions that had come in Gal Civ 3, and then you've got the other DLCs that have come in the meantime, which makes the game even better. But I think that's a good value at the 50% as well. If you just trying to think of when I've seen the game for much more than 50% off. And I can't remember seeing it for much as well, so you take that into account as well. The game's been out for a couple of years now, but really polished, really, really good. I really enjoy that game. Like that'd be one of my favourite. That'd be my second favourite Space Forex, I guess. Like Distant Worlds, I just love the simulation aspect of Distant Worlds. But this one is, if I'm wanting to sort of play more of like a board game style, that would be my favourite Forex in that sort of category. Really, really enjoy it. It's got like a lot of stuff going for it. SpellForce, Conquest of EO. Now, this is one of the things I was. This is a game again. The one thing I don't like about EO, the SpellForce Conquest of EO, or that I don't really warm to, is that the base game doesn't have random maps, and yet there is a DLC. And I think what we'll do is let's go and have a quick look and see if we can find it. So we've got the. Just get rid of that. So it's only mostly 73%, 81% was the original, but there were one of the DLCs, and I don't have the DLCs. I think it was Weaver's Realm was one that actually did bring DLC to it. That's 40% off, still $13. It's a bit expensive for that. Having said that, but it's something I haven't tried. I'm pretty sure that's the DLC for it. That introduces random maps, which so positive, rating 84%, which is actually very good, again as well. Random generated campaign map. That for me is compelling. I wouldn't buy that at 40% off personally. I've tried to contact the THQ Nordic to see if I can grab a key to show it, because I am interested in showing this, but I didn't hear back. So my email sort of bounced off somewhere in the ether, and I keep on forgetting to try to contact them again. Let's just go back through. Now, is it Alt backspace? I forget what the way when you've got it full screen. I forget what that actually is. There's a key, Alt left arrow, right? So we can do that this way. That works. Civ 5, looks like we're getting even more of these sorts of little trailers coming through. I'll just hover that one there and just read a few more of the comments. Impermanent saying, I like SpellForce, but it felt a lot like a game that had core features split off into DLC. Yeah, I think I know what you mean with that. I quite like the combat in it, to be honest. Like, it was sort of like a fairly meaningful tactical combat in a cut down way, whereas Age of Wonders is the combat is really, really detailed, and I think that some people bounce off the content, the tactical combat of Age of Wonders 4, just because you can do so much in it, and it is quite in depth and complex, can take some time to play out. Whereas the Conquest of EO, I did actually really, really like their tactical system. Okay, so Bruce is saying, a shame Imperator Rome isn't on sale. Probably my favourite Paradox game. Just love how the military is tied to your population. A bad war can wipe out your country. Oh, okay. Look, I haven't played Imperator Rome literally since it came out, because it was really bad when it first released. I know it's actually improved a lot. Then Joram is saying, Gladius is great though. I've been trying again to get into Zephon, and I'm struggling to get hooked. I know what you mean. Like, one of the Zephon is the other game made by the same developer, the most recent of the games, which is also on special as well. By the way, I saw that was on special. But Gladius, I think you've got the benefit of the Warhammer sort of immersion, and that really helps a lot. And even though Zephon, the mechanics, the game mechanics in Zephon. Oh, there we go. We're sort of zipping through these, and I do want to talk about some of these. Just leave that one where that is. Zephon is one where the game mechanics are so much better than Gladius. So it's a better game, with what it does do. But just the immersion of the Warhammer aspects bring. I think also for me, I'm the same. I feel that I feel that Gladius is elevated because of that immersion. Purple Dash is saying, I tried Dominion 6 for the second time. It just doesn't click, but I love watching it, which is weird. No, it's not actually. There's a lot of people, I get that a lot with games, whereas they like watching certain games but don't like playing them. That happens a lot with games that are complex, like Dominions. There's a few games like that. Distant Worlds is in that category for people as well. So no, it's not an unusual comment. I get that quite often, where people like to... And Dwarf Fortress, like, people will actually... really, really enjoy watching Dwarf Fortress, but don't want to play it. And one thing I try to do is actually try to show games in a way that makes it so that people can sort of just get into them in the right, with the right gearing in their mind as to how to approach a game, because that's actually, for me, is one of the hardest things. Dominions is a game, I think, that you've got to just try one faction over and over and over and just get used to it. And I always think that probably the easiest faction to gravitate to is Ulm. So I always recommend just play Ulm a fair few times. Or for me it was Man. I played middle-aged man, which is a funny sort of statement. But in the middle age of the game, that's what I did actually end up playing was that one, and I played that just for probably a year and played nothing else, just to get my head around how the game actually did work. One of the other problems with learning Dominions is the fact that you can't save scum, and I think that save scumming is a great way to learn the game. So that's interesting. Yeah, so Dominion 6 is also on special, by the way. Jerome saying, Simon, I love watching Daz create maps for it, but I barely played it myself. There we are. Actually, I was just going to say, I've got a map that is designed for people to try to learn, like, the nuance of how to sort of go into different combat. So I've got like a couple of arena maps, which I'm going to have to go back and have a look at those, actually, because I think that there's more mod tools available now. And Bruce is saying to Pebble Dash, yeah, Dominions is fun. I find the multiplayer to be a bit too try hard though. Yeah, so it's really that's the best way to play the game, to be honest, in multiplayer. But you can have bad experiences with it. Not in terms of the community being bad, but you just get so involved, and when things go badly, it's actually depressing. So it's sort of like you got a lot riding on it when you play a multiplayer game of Dominions. But it's a great multiplayer game. Anyway, let's continue on through. Airships, 60% off is pretty good price. Great game. Love this game. So this is something where I would recommend this, even at 60%. I think it's very, very good value. 3 cups of coffee, if we're using the coffee mechanic, or 1 movie, essentially. Too. So it's definitely worth a movie. The overall, what you can do in the game, it's very, very open-ended, random campaign map. Campaign is now very, very balanced. If you haven't played the game for a while, the campaigns are now really good now. They've sort of, when they first started doing the campaigns, they were very, very unequal with the way it sort of did work with things. It was sort of like, it became a bit frustrating, but they've really fixed that up now. So the campaigns are a hell of a lot of fun. Your ship designs are all, you can sort of build all those. You've got so many different ways of playing that one through there. So Spring Playing saying, I like to watch the Daz Demption games. Yes, I think the one that everyone's really enjoying at the moment is the Xenonauts 2. I don't know if that's on special or not. But you can see in this game, I love this game. Again, this is a great game. Zephon, there it is, 25% off. Not a great special, but this is the makers of Gladius, and this definitely is it's a great game. 25% off though, not a great deal. So I would sort of I think there's better deals to be had if you sort of if you've got limited cups of coffee to spend. This is too many cups of coffee to spend on this one at only 25% off. Planetfall, 66% off. For me, I would bounce off this and go straight to Age of Wonders 4, but I still know a lot of people who love this game, like absolutely love it. So this is the pre-game to Age of Wonders 4. So for me, Age of Wonders 4, look, this was actually the interesting thing about Planetfall was that when they had done Age of Wonders 3, this is Triumph Studios, they had all these ideas for what they could do with Age of Wonders 4, but they really didn't know how they were going to be received. And so they made Planetfall as almost like a skunk works for testing out different mechanics and just sort of trying to finesse them a little bit. And so Planetfall had a lot of innovation in it, the way that they sort of did work. There's a lot of problems when you played Age of Wonders 3, for example, and they sort of wanted to test all these different ideas, and so Planetfall was the game that came out of that. People are sort of now saying, wouldn't it be great to get a Planetfall 2, and it would be, because, and I was a bit, when they first brought Planetfall out or first announced it, I was thinking, oh, damn it, stop going away from the Age of Wonders games, just do Age of Wonders 4, but when I found out that this was actually the skunkworks for Age of Wonders 4, I'm thinking, oh yeah, that was a good move, because Age of Wonders 4 is just an exceptional game, and part of that is the process of going through the Planetfall development as well. This is actually where this Planetfall was the first of the games where Triumph Studios actually combined in with Paradox, and I still remember at the time there was a lot of consternation that there was going to be sort of like DLC bloat. And in the end, they didn't bring enough DLC out for the game, so people were wanting even more at the end. So they made a commitment that there wasn't going to be too much DLC. And having said that, in Age of Wonders 4, you don't get the same commitment from Triumph anymore about the DLC for Age of Wonders 4, but it's not really, no one talks about it because all the DLCs that have come for Age of Wonders 4 have been just incredibly good. Anyway, 66% off, middle of the road for me in terms of value, and I'd be bouncing off that to Age of Wonders 4 personally, but I know a lot of people who actually really do like it. So we've got Avian Encounter saying, started playing Planetfall yesterday for the first time. I like it so far. It's a great game. It's a really, really good game. It's extremely well done. It's, very, 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 very good game. Resman saying, g'day Daz and chat. I picked up Gal Civ 4 and Dominions 5. Dominions 5 I'd bounce off as well, to be honest, even if it's really, really cheap. Dominions 6 is so much better. Sorry, I don't know, we'll probably come across it at some point. Ruts is in saying I played Dominions 3 when that came out, got a huge manual hard copy for it. It's always been very deep. Yeah, I've got a couple of manuals. I've got the Dominions 6 manual, which is monstrously large. This is the manual for Dominions 6. You can see how thick it is. Like it's a very, very, very big book. Like it's how many pages is it? 442 pages of manual for Dominion 6. And even my favourite manual of all of the Dominions is actually, I'll come back to this one as well, it's actually Dominions 2, believe it or not. Where's the manual for that? I've got that hovering around somewhere. Oh, there it is. I'll just go and grab that, because that's where I first came across this incredible, it's the best manual ever made for any game. Sorry, it's Dominions 3. There it is, the one that was mentioned. So Dominions 3 manual. So again, big, thick manual, but with incredible amount of information. This was only, I'm being ripped off. There's only 300 pages in that one. It's a smaller book as well. Like between the two Dominions manuals, they're quite. Like this one here is a little bit smaller than the big Dominion 6 manual. So anyway, great manuals, incredible manuals actually. By Bruce Gerrick, I think is the guy who actually wrote them from memory, and in his day job is actually a brain surgeon. So, but no, it's for me the best gaming manuals ever written. I love the Dominions 3 manual, just absolutely love it. So we've got comments there. So Silvero saying that manual looks high quality. It's very good. And Ruts is saying, looks a lot better now. Yes, that's the one. I have that one, says Silvero. Yeah, the back when Dominions 3 came out, you really did need the manual to play the game. Like it gave you, there's all sorts of tables and stuff all the way through it, with all sorts of different information about everything. Like everything that was, it's just whole lots of different, almost like a Dungeons and Dragons sort of style manual with lots of incredibly good examples of how things actually work, the mechanics of the game. And Dominion 6 has got the same sort of approach with their manual, but nowadays you've actually got other ways of actually sort of addressing that. So you've got like online information, which is actually easier to access than the manual. So the manual is fantastic to have and read, but you do actually now have lots of information. Also in game, like the tooltips in game, the information in game in Dominions is incredible as well. Avian Encounter saying people talking about the nostalgia of running home with a new game and reading the manual properly doesn't mean these kind of novels. Yeah, it's sort of like the Dominions, the manuals, both of them were books that you didn't have to be sitting at a computer like to actually still be enjoying the game, which it really was good. And Silver was saying, yeah, if you had to take a 3-hour train trip home or something like that, yeah. So Lucas is saying, I wish the manual was sold in Brazil. Well, The actual manual itself, you can also just download there's a free PDF file of the Dominion 6 manual. You can actually just go and pick that up for free. Just download it, and I'd even argue that that's better than the printed version because you can search it. You can actually do a find and find exactly what you look for in the manual that way as well. So yeah, that's another way of accessing those manuals. Anyway, we're talking a lot about Dominion 6. We haven't even got to it yet. Okay, so Joram is saying the Planetfall has a great meta game. Not sure exactly what you mean by that, but it was a great game actually. Sorry, T-Sun's zipping across to the next one. I'm hovering over it. Why is it going? Well, let's just keep it there. Actually, if I tick off that one, we won't get the auto advance. There we are, so I don't have to worry about it. Where do we get up to? So Clancy Swain was saying, thanks, Daz, for showing the new Age of Wonders 4 DLC, playing it now, and it's really good, just like you said. Yeah, I'm blown away by it. Plus the free Griffin update as well. Really adds a lot to the game. It's funny, like I did 2 streams this week. I'm going to continue on playing this. This is the game that I've actually got going is going to be really, really tough in Age of Wonders 4, and it's already I've had to save scum a bit just to save the game, but I'm looking forward to sort of pushing that game a little bit as we sort of get into the middle and end game. So so I'm really looking forward to sort of seeing what happens in that particular game. So I'll be playing that at least once a week from this point forward. So probably play it a little bit on the weekend as well, like as more live streams, and just so my plan is to do a lot of Age of Wonders 4 content. But when I first started off, I was thinking, oh God, I know there's so many people who actually either have the game or want the game, but just bounce off it. Like, there's a lot of people who've actually bought a lot of the games actually, and then just they play it for a very short period of time when it first comes out, and then never ever touch it again. And with Age of Wonders 4, I was sort of just hoping that people would actually try it again. Like, so I do the videos. I always start a series with that in mind as to what's the information that people are looking for, and I think it's the start of the games is a good one to focus on, even though it takes a lot of time. I think it's so important to be able to do whatever you want to do. Christopher is saying the devs have announced a 3rd season in their latest stream today. I saw the stream coming up. I think we're talking about Age of Wonders 4. That's interesting if that's the case. The way you can get the DLCs for Age of Wonders is to buy season passes and get sort of like 3 or 4 DLCs in the season pass. If they've introduced and there's been 2 that have come out, a third season coming out, like a season pass would actually be great. That means there's more DLC on the way. We were sort of speculating when I was doing the live stream of Age of Wonders 4 this week about the missing heroes that are still from Age of Wonders 1, 2, and 3. And Mab was always one of my favourites, and we haven't seen Mab yet. So I was sort of hoping that there'd be a bit more content still to come, and the thieves and the goblin thieves and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how we go. Spring Plague is saying Wasteland 2 Director's Cut is on sale for less than a cup of coffee at the moment there as well. We'll try to get across them as we come across them. Actually, I'll try not to deviate off from the game that we're looking at. Is this still just auto scrolling through? Now, Knights of Honor 2, I love Knights of Honor 1. It was my favourite game like at the time when it came out. And but I never really gave I shot at Knights of Honor 2. And it's sort of one of those games where I remember my kids were fairly small when the first ones came out, and one of my kids had grabbed the CD of the Knights of Honor 1 after I'd played it to death, and I've got auto advance turned off, but it's still auto advancing. Anyway, wrecked the CD, which I was very unhappy about. So it's the only game I've ever bought two different full price CDs of. Was Knights of Honor 1. Anyway, that's. But I do mean to come back and I've meant to play this one, but I just haven't ever really got into it. So it sort of was. I guess things change over time. Nameless, some other guy is saying, what about now for seasons? I brought the original, but so many expansions to to deter me. Okay, deter me to invest more. Yeah, I get what you mean. So yes, you can feel like it's run away from you. The seasons, I think you can still go and get the older games at off a a bit cheaper. Let's just keep on scrolling through. Science fiction. Heroes of science fiction. No idea what this is. Looks like a Heroes of Might and Magic style game. I don't think I know this one. Looks familiar. Yeah, this just Heroes of Might and Magic. I don't know what this is like. 50% off. I'll just skip past that one. Terra Invicta, 35% off. Again, a great game, but it was always a hard one to stream because it took so long to get into space. So I haven't really sort of done much content on that one, but I was impressed with what it did do. 35% off, not a great special. Age of History 3, no idea what that is. Haven't played that one. Total Conflict, Resistance. This was actually pretty cool, actually. I did enjoy this, but 25% off, not a great deal. I think I'll skip past it. Here we go. Here's the game we've been talking about. So this is Dominion 6, Rise of the Pentacrator. This is actually a great, great game. Like this is, even at 35% off, they very rarely go on special. So the Dominions games have sort of been hailed as the best strategy game of all time. This is sort of like their critical acclaim is that's sort of what they do. It's a WeGo system where you plan your turn out and then the armies just do auto battling. So you don't actually get to do anything yourself in the battles, but the actual game itself with the actual combat is it's just an incredible game. Like it's not an easy game to play, but it has been considered the best strategy game of all time, and I love playing it. For me, it's just a great game. I won't sort of delve on it too much. We've had a look at the manuals. It's just, but it is a game that can be quite hard to learn. There's all sorts of different factions in it. I think there's around about 100 different factions you can play. So and they all very, very varied. Like there's a lot of different variations you can sort of then get with the game itself. It comes with either random maps or you have sort of like pre-made maps as well, where different things actually happen. Very, very good, cool game. So Christopher is saying in Age of Wonders 4. That's actually cool. I was actually wondering if there was going to be. I was wondering when they would. If I didn't even know if they were going to actually have a third season. But I'm actually thankful that they are. It just means there's more DLC, which I know, as you said before, it becomes a bit daunting if you haven't caught up with the DLC. The base game, though, is still very, very playable with Age of Wonders 4. It's not as if you need the DLC, but you end up wanting it. And look, there are. I did a couple of weeks ago. I did a live stream on the DLCs of Age of Wonders 4 as to which ones are great, good and average. So there's. So I did, if you look at the ChatTactic on YouTube from a couple of weeks ago, you'll sort of we did a bit of a deeper dive into the DLCs there. Adrian Canison wanted to get into Dominions for a long time, but every recommendation I see for the game is about multiplayer. Is it a good game for single player only? Yeah, I've got a game at the moment actually where I'm playing. I'll load it up. I'm in no great rush today, so I've got a bit of time. I was going to try, as I said before, I was going to go back to sleep, so I just opened up the tablet and thought, I'll just do a little bit of looking at the Steam Forex sale, and just sort of see, to pick like a handful of games to talk about. And when I just saw all the games that were on special, I thought, oh my God, I won't be able to sleep now. So I got up and we started doing the stream. So I do have a bit of time up my sleeve. Just let me go and open up because this is another game I'm playing as a live stream series. Really, and I've sort of called it a how to play Dominion 6, and so I've spent a bit of time just explaining the way the game does work. But in this particular game, if I just continue an old game, there's a great Warhammer mod, by the way, for the game. I don't have it installed at the moment, but there's they've replaced all of the factions in the middle era of the game with Warhammer factions, and it's incredible what's been done with that one. I'm just going to go and play this game. So this is the game I'm currently playing. The thing I love about this game again is just how varied it actually is. People, when they first look at it, think, "Oh my God, it looks crap. It looks like it's from the 1990s." Just the way it sort of does work with the graphics. The graphics really aren't they're clunky. They look really sort of crappy, etc., etc. So yes, that's very, very true. That is like the graphics are like that, but there are literally thousands of different sorts of units. So, looking at the different units that we actually have in through here. So we do actually have, I think with our messages, I'll just show you the way the battles work. So we had a couple of different messages, a couple of different battles that took place. So if I go and view one of the battles, there was a battle in here, for example, where our forces have sort of come through. And so the way it works is you end up scripting your combat forces, and so it's quite varied. We're playing as like an undead nature group, where there's a combination of sort of like centaurs. We've got centaurs back and through here. These are like black centaurs, and then over the other side we've got the minotaurs. So the actual overall look of them is really sort of crappy, but the detail of what they do is really interesting. And so these, for example, are sacred units, and one of the complex things of the game is figuring out how to make use of your sacred units and how to buff them up. And so every game can be completely different with what actually happens through here. So what we've actually decided for this particular run was to use the sacred ability to try to buff their regeneration. So as they take damage, 10% of their total hit points will come back every combat round. So they'll be getting basically three hit points per combat round back to sort of try to keep them alive. And so these have actually got even the actual combat. Every single weapon is actually modelled. What else have we got? We've got the armor. In this case, they're just wearing furs, so this just gives them protection on their body. There'll be other things as well. If we have a look at some of the others, we'll see different things. So these black minotaurs. These ones I've been having these around on the battle map for a while, so their experience is up there because of their becoming veteran, and that then impacts things like their strength. Like if you go and have a look at strength, so they've got all this experience bonus of +1. So we end up getting sort of like all these different types of things. Strength indicates how well they are at sieges, and they've got all these other little sorts of things like the recuperation is high with these guys. They're berserkers if they start to take damage. Because of their size, their size is size 4. So they're sort of almost like small giants, these guys. So they actually end up, it's only one of them, no, 2 of them will fit in a square. Like you can see there's a square underneath there. So with the game, and you essentially script what you want the game to do, and which is really, really cool. And so in this particular instance, we've got like these are all different spells that are coming through. If I just press number 2, we then can sort of see who's actually doing it. We've got Bernardo's casting blessings. We've got different people in here casting bless, which will then make the sacred units blessed units. And back over here we have another group of sacreds, which are the excuse me, these are size 5. These are black centaurs. You can see again they've got like a bronze lance. They've got hooves with the actual with the front of the centaurs, and then a javelin as well that they can throw at range. They've got different sorts of armor in through here again. They've got a shield. The shield has got much higher protection, but sort of does a smaller area. And so the combats themselves, again, you get used to the fact that it looks really shitty. Like the actual units themselves, they do look bad, and they've only got like 2 sprites. They've got like a standing sprite and an active sprite. So this particular centaur here is actually firing its bow. So it's either standing or firing. Let's have a bit more of a look and see what actually happens. So they're now blessing the different units. That was a bless that went through. And if we have a bit of a look through in these guys, these are now blessed, which means that they have a regeneration of +10%. So they're now, when they go into attack, and these have been scripted to hold back as of these, to then attack the rear of the enemy. So the enemy is down through here. They've got their own different group. This is a group of knights, sort of like French knights. They're using sort of like these woodsmen as well. Like these are very, very weak. And then at the back through here, they're also casting their own blessings. They've got sort of like different friars down this way. They've got a witch hunter, which is got some magic gems with it as well. Does a lot of different sorts of things. This is blessed. And so its blesses here to get flaming weapons. Precision goes up, righteous wrath. So it gets all these different sorts of bless effects, so which I won't explain how it works. But in the combat, if I just sort of zoom back and like this, we certainly are doing better than what they've got. So our force shouldn't have any real big problems. And so these have been told to stay back. These guys will start to sort of move up towards the front. There comes one of the knights of the paladin. They've got a paladin there, and so these are French knights coming through. These mannequins are now walking through. These guys have been told to go to the rear ranks to try to get to their commanders, but sometimes they can be sort of held up. They're casting spells to try to get rid of my undead mannequins. Yeah, these didn't make it to the rear ranks. They've taken damage, but the regeneration is kicking back in at this stage. Here comes the Minotaurs. They're now going to go after the knight. And like all of the detail as it sort of does start to come through. If I like that knight was just hit. If I go to the actual destrier, so the knight was destroyed. This thing is now running away. It's without its leader. The morale is now dropped completely. And if I go and press, I think it's F1, no V, I can then see all the history of just this one horse. So the level of detail is unbelievable. So its rider was killed by the Minotaurs, and then we sort of see the rest of them now sort of still got this guy who was trying to now run off the battlefield. But it's just a great game. And so that particular battle, then we end up sort of seeing, like, you know, the kills, like the Black Centaurs ended up doing 17, the Black Minotaurs only 2, but one of them was the Paladin, so the Paladin was sort of then taken out. It's just a great game. Anyway, that's won't sort of get too involved in it, but the learning just one faction and just playing it just as one faction, you learn so much. And Asphodel, the one that we're playing in through here, is actually it's fairly easy to pick up. Like, it's not a difficult faction to sort of to understand. And one of the interesting things here is that we ended up with Ermor, which is another death faction back in this other side. And so in this case, Ermor's nearly been destroyed. They're under siege from another group, which we're going to be at war with very, very soon. But there's a lot of complexity in the game. But yeah, people do bounce off the overall look of the units. You can see there's a group of units back in through here as well, like where there was a bit of a fight sort of coming back through again from these same French knights. So they've actually extended all the way across the base. In fact, there's another one of their castles, which we're going to have to now go and besiege. So we'll need to sort of besiege this castle in the next phase of the game. So we've got some big armies in here as well, just waiting for the attacks that are going to go back in from Ermor at some point. So it's just a fantastic game. Anyway, so. I won't stay in there. I'll just go and quit without saving, and quit again. But it's awesome strategy game. Like, just the complexity and the depth of it is just really unbelievably good. Let's go back out again. So that's Dominions that we're looking at through there, F11. Even at 35% off, I would highly recommend that. To actually sort of pick that one up. Okay, so where have we got? Yep. So where do we get up to? Sorry. Now, Mulix is saying you're planning on doing a game tier list sometime. Yes, I was actually planning on doing it today, but I just thought there's too many games. I'm not going to be able to do it. Like, otherwise, I'd be just putting them all in. I actually even had it loaded. If I go back to, in fact, if I just go back up here again, press F11. There's my Game of the Year tier list from last year. I was going to copy this across and then start to do a list of the games that are actually in the... this is actually how I was figuring out my Game of the Year. And Dominion 6 was my Game of the Year from last year. Like, that was rated overall 9. And so I rate them, UX, UI, replayability, gameplay, sort of an extra, just fun factor, I guess. And then I was getting... people on the chat were also voting for stuff, and so I was thinking of doing that for the Steam sale, but I thought, no, it's going to be too complex. There's too much to do. Jem Riska saying Dominions 5 or 6, definitely 6. So don't worry so much about Dominion. God, we're back to Hearts of Iron again, are we? Here we are. I wouldn't worry about 5. 5 is a good game. Like, they're all very, very good, but 6 is really polished. Like, 6 is dramatically different. There's so much more in it than what 5 has got. Dom6 added a lot for the playing single players is impertinent. Yes, it did. Most important alliances and treaties. Yes, so even in that current game I'm playing, I've got I had an alliance with the faction that was attacking Ermor, and the so we were at peace, but they've now declared war on me, and the war can't just be declared with because of the diplomacy that we had. It enforces a non-aggression pact, and so there was 3 turns. If one of us declared war, we then have 3 turns to prepare for the war. So, and I think I've still got 1 or 2 turns left over in that particular one where we're not fighting each other. So, and we can't fight each other. The game won't let us do it. So unless it's sort of, I think accidentally you can, but it's not something that you can really sort of go and do. So Cam is saying, is Dominions we go or I go, you go? It's a we go game. So that's why it works so well in multiplayer, because it is something where you script your battles before you get started, and then you come back in and do it. If you're sort of interested, I'm playing it about once a week. I probably won't be quite once a week with that one now that Age of Wonders 4 is out, but I am sort of going through bit by bit on how to play the game, playing it as Asphodel in that instance. So if you're interested in it, like it's the scripting is not difficult, but the nuance of the scripting can be really, really interesting. Like if you're sort of interested in it, I'd recommend Lucid Tactics has got some really, really good videos on it. He's probably the one that I know the most with Dominions. He's a very, very good player. And so he has a lot of sort of very nuanced videos about how to play Dominions as well. So I've done a fair bit of content there as well, but I'm sort of average. I'm an average player, but I do enjoy it a lot. Now, sorry, I'm skipping past all these different aspects with it. So we've got so Brother Hover saying, I would love a game with Age of Wonders 4 map play with Mechabellum combat. Looks like Dominions is sort of like that. Yeah, that's interesting. Like Mechabellum, great game again as well, like as an auto battler. I mean, Dominions is probably the best auto battler system. Like Mechabellum works so well because of the progression of what you bring in round after round. Whereas in Dominions, you've got to then construct your armies, and the armies also then need to be like, so you're constructing armies and giving them, but you can chop and change your armies. So you can it's not as if you're stuck with the one army. So Mechabellum works great in the fact that you actually got to plan your progression through each battle right from the very, very start. And so you don't get to change things, whereas in Dominions, you can switch things out. You can lose an army and then build another army and still sort of come back. So it's, but yeah, it sort of is. I guess then it is different to Age of Wonders. Age of Wonders 4 I love because of the tactical battles. Like that's a turn-based game, like where I go you go type game. But but Dominions as a with the auto battling system is exceptionally good. I'm just trying to think of other games that have a auto battle system that's as deep as Dominions, and I really can't think of many, to be honest. Like it's Mechabellum is designed around the auto battle system, which I really love that game. But Dominions is very special in terms of what it does do, it's just a very, very cool game. So Avian Encounter saying, would Heroes Hour count? Though it didn't click with me. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say Heroes Hour. Heroes Hour is another auto battle system, but it's not the same sort of thing. That's I think is still turn based anyway. So not heard of that before. I'll have to have a look. It's Heroes Hour is like Heroes of Might and Magic, but with an auto battle system. It's better than Heroes of Might and Magic, but it's not a. It's a bit unbalanced in the sense that it's I keep on bouncing off it. I keep on hoping that there'll be better. You can affect the battles in real time. So it's more real time game more so than an auto battler. So you actually decide where your forces end up going. They just attack as a real time, but the actual strategic elements you have in the real time or in the combat phase are very, very weak. So I would not recommend if you've got a Mechabellum in mind. I don't think Heroes Hour fits that same sort of depth of thinking that you get with Mechabellum, whereas scripting for Dominion certainly does. So if that helps. We've got here Supreme Plague saying, "Would like a Conquest of Elysium 6. I'm not sure what they'll do with that. That's the same developers as Dominions. Yeah, it looks like we've done a full loop through here now. Let's just keep on having a bit of a look down through. We'll just go to the recommendations. So these are the recommendations in through there. But this one, at least they're not going to be scrolling through. I don't think we can sort of just take our time with this one here. So actually, there we go. New expansion out now. I wonder if there's any information about that. I don't think they'll announce any coming DLCs just yet. Yeah, the Archon Prophecy is the latest one. So the most recent ones aren't on special. 20% off for some of the earlier ones. Not great, not a great deal, but a great game. Like a really great game. So yeah, I don't know if you can actually get I don't know what the premium edition is. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's sort of, but anyway, this is an awesome game, Age of Wonders. So we'll be playing that a fair bit in the coming weeks. Probably at the expense of Dominions, to be honest, if I'm being brutally honest. Just go Alt back. And go back to our list again. So it looks like I need to get an actual list. Here we go, popular titles. I think this is just randomly positioned every time we actually sort of open anything up. We've got browse games, we've just got all in through here. Yeah, I can sort of filter by different things this way as well. Look, I might just start to skim past the list, actually. We'll just sort of do it that way, I think. So, Brother Hoverson, great. Really appreciate all that info. Yeah, some really good games out there as well. Like, you know, but it's, yeah, Heroes Hour is just a really interesting take on Heroes of Might and Magic. It's a very good game, but it's just the auto battle system or the real-time battle system is pretty dumb. Like, it's not really. I was always hoping that there'd be some other way that they would actually really push it in. So Bruce is saying Emperor of the Fading Suns is on sale. Just saying, no Regency bias from me, even though I'm playing it right now. Yeah, no, that hasn't come up in the list. I thought that would have come up actually, because there's also been some changes recently in recent weeks with that game as well, just to make it a little bit more user friendly. So we've got Brother Hofer saying Age of Empires 4 has confirmed another DLC pass as well. Yeah, Age of Empires I've sort of skipped past now. It's a bit old. I find it a bit old. Hugh Davis, I'm very excited to hear that there'll be a Season 3 for Age of Wonders 4. That's great news. The DLC and free updates for Age of Wonders 4 have been fantastic. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad for that as well. And Cam is saying, did you guys try the Endless Legend 2 demo? I've got it, but I haven't actually played it yet. I sort of skip over Endless Legend 2. In fact, if we have a look at popular upcoming games, it's in here. There it is, Endless Legend 2 there. It's interesting. And it's coming up very soon, actually. We're looking at that one coming up in September the 22nd for me. That should be September the 21st for you guys. So always just take one day off. This in Australia we're a day ahead, which means that the games show here a day late. So when you see dates, like I always pretend that today's what do I pretend today is? I pretend today's Thursday, but it's actually Friday for me. So I think it's Thursday for most of you guys. So when you see the dates, those dates will be one day off. So Endless Legend 2, maybe we'll have a quick look at that one, because this is coming up. There is a demo now that you can go and play. You can play as a necrophage as well, so you can actually go and play that one. The dev for the game, actually, they brought Kale in, who is like Derek Paxton. He's the developer from. He went across to Slytherin, across to Stardock. And sort of resurrected Elemental, and Elemental has of course been announced as well. So we're going to be getting the an upgraded Elemental game. He then made Fallen Enchantress, and he was at Stardock for must be 10 years or so, I guess. And he was also instrumental in sort of developing a lot of the galactic civilizations. So he's actually an extremely good game designer, and. So actually, that's going to be interesting. I have to have a look at this one. It's the first time we opened up Endless Legend 2 to the public. Yeah, we learned a lot. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I've just found it a little bit flat when I played it. This is a few months ago now. I had like a test version of the game, but they have now brought the Necrophage in, which is the undead faction. So we'll see. I'll have to give that another go. I wasn't impressed with the demo when I did play it. And I always don't really like playing demos too early, but this game is now coming up fairly fast. So the developer is Amplitude Studios, who is also, that's where Derek Paxton or Kale is now is now working. He was sort of like considered to be the best modder for many years. He did a mod, Fall from Heaven mod for Civ 2, I think, or Civ 4. It might be Civ 4. I forget which civilization it was. Anyway, it might be Civ 2. Anyway, he sort of developed this incredible mod. So he's very good at what he does do. So I am looking forward to trying it. But I didn't see enough change in it when I was playing it. It sort of had the same sort of problems that Endless Legend 1 had for me. Anyway, I'll have to give that another go. Wait, they're not under Sega. No, Sega's gone. Hooded Horse has now taken over. And so Hooded Horse, again, what a great publisher this is. We're so lucky at the moment with these publishing houses, like Stardock, Slytherin, Paradox, Hooded Horse. There's heaps of them. Like you sort of don't like the Microprose. Actually, Microprose just announced a new game as well, which looks really cool. I don't know if it'll be in this list. I'm I'm hoping it will be. Anyway, I do mean to cover this one probably over the weekend as well. I'll probably be trying to get a fair few different games in. So I'll probably be doing a fair bit of streaming over the coming days, I would imagine. Just go back again and. I still want to play. Why not? It's not letting me go back. Just let me just do it. F11. Oh, I did that because I went to a new tab. That's what it was. El Conquista. Don't know what that is. Masters of Luna. No idea what that is. Heroes. Now this is actually another. Game that is going to be of interest to people. Another Hooded Horse / Ubisoft game. This is a game that's this is sort of going to be like the next Heroes of Might and Magic really coming out. Actually, does it say when that's coming? It just says 2025. Let's go back out again. Just press F11 again and have another quick look at that one. Yeah, it's only saying 2025. With what we end up having through there. So look out for that one as well. I'm not super keen about Ubisoft, because they sort of have like closed-in systems, but I think that Hooded Horse, have now come in to really sort of take the game into launch. Again, which I'm excited about. So I probably would have skipped over that one if it was still just with Ubisoft, but the fact it's now with Hooded Horse, I'm really looking forward to it. And so I've had a bit of a look at that one, and it looks very good. Like it looks like if you've liked Heroes of Might and Magic in the past, I think you'll really like this one that's sort of coming through. So this is an official game. Star Reach, don't know much about that one. That's in October, November. Oh no, that's different again. Mars: The Last Exodus. I thought that was the Microprose game. Is it Microprose? No, it's another Hooded Horse game I'm looking forward to. That was, this is not the one I'm thinking of. There was what was it called? Mars Tactics, which I think is Hooded Horse. So Avian Encounter saying, don't trust that Ubisoft cares about Heroes after they released Heroes 3 HD without the DLCs and map generator. Yeah, look, those really big companies. They don't know. They're not really connected with what we do. Stummy just saying, check out the top demos tab in the Forex Fest, Heart of the Machine, Crown, and okay, yeah, there's some good games in there as well. We'll just keep on skipping through this list here anyway, and then we'll go back to some of the other lists as well. Sorry, I'm missing so many of the comments here, guys. Imperium saying Endless Legend 1 was one of my biggest disappointments. Felt like the game was built around having interesting features and ideas. Yeah, I agree with you with that. Shake Vivid is saying I like that they have their own style and don't copy other ideas. I think he's talking about Endless Legend, which they do actually have some interesting ideas with when they did actually sort of release the game, like playing on the actual world map in a strategic way or in a tactical way was interesting. Impermanent saying Hooded Horse, an incredible publisher. Yeah, it's got some great games, including, as was just mentioned, like Heart of the Machine, etc. So I think that was Hooded Horse. I think I sort of get lost a bit now with who does what. Mueller saying Dawn of War 1 Definitive Edition was just released. If anyone is interesting, is that the new version? Is that the new one that they've been working on for a while? I didn't know that actually. Let's have a look. Somebody just saying, yeah, the antimatter demo I just noticed in the demos of the Forex Fest. Totally checking that one out. Seems like an interesting space game. Yeah, I've heard a bit about antimatter, but it does look like it's supposed to be pretty damn good. If Dawn of War 2 gets a definitive edition, they'll definitely have my attention, says Shake. Yeah, Menace is looking to be a fantastic game. Again, another Hooded Horse game. Yes, I don't know when that's coming out. Is that in our little list of games? Let's have a bit of a look at coming games. There's Antimatter. We might open that one up actually and have a bit of a look. Beyond Astra, I think someone had mentioned that for me to have. That might be interesting to be having a look at. Let's have another quick look at a few more. God, there's a lot of good games coming. Just sort of skimming past to sort of see if there's anything that that really sort of takes. Is interesting. There's a lot just to be announced. Woodfield Command. I thought that had released. I thought that one is already here. It's coming soon anyway. I think it's imminent. This particular one. It's it's an interesting little sort of turn-based game, that one. It's got some good games coming up. I won't keep on skipping on that one. I was actually looking for Mars Tactics to see if that was still on the list there somewhere, but it's not. Let's have a look at Antimatter and just see what this one brings. So, it's a sandbox strategy game. Colonize planets, build your city on the surface of the or the underground, build your space station, and control your own spaceships to explore a huge living galaxy. Let's have a look at the actual. We'll risk the music. So we'll just go back. Got sound on. Looks good. Looks when I see that number of ships, though, I always feel like, there's going to be a lot of micromanagement. That looks good. Looks detailed, doesn't it? It looks like a lot like Emperor of the Fading Suns. Oh, I like that. That progression. Just the visuals in this look very, very cool. Jeez, it's big. Oh, it's even got orbits. There we go. The people who were disappointed with Distant Worlds because they didn't have orbits, we've got it back. It looks like a graphical version of Aurora Forex. That's a must look at, isn't it? Really, this one here when this one comes out. This looks very, very cool. And it's just it's top-down sprites, so it's not even 3D. So we're looking at sort of like something that's a bit more like the old Distant Worlds 1 in terms of what it can do with sprites. That's pretty crappy 3D. Crappy 3D. I always get turned off by shitty 90s 3D characters. Sort of always feel like I'm being ripped off. Just in terms of skill levels and stuff. But anyway, I've got to get over that. It's not a phobia, but it's certainly something I feel a bit negative about. But that looks good. I don't know if it'd be interesting to test this one actually. That one does look very, very cool. Big, isn't it? It is big. That's just one solar system. Then you got your galaxies. Wow. That looks great. That looks really, really cool. So that one is I think a must look at. I've done it alt back again. It's not letting me go back. Why not? Why isn't this working? I did it again. I think it's just opening up if I click on them. Was there anything else we wanted to look at in that little list? I don't think there is. I'll just go back up the top of the list and just see if there's anything else coming fairly soon. The name Small Kingdoms does look interesting, but I won't worry about it so much. We won't open that one up. Anyway, some interesting games on the way. There's our top demos. We'll just go back to this one and have a quick look as well. So you do actually have the Endless Legend 2 demo. Be interested to see what people think about that one. In fact, it's interesting there. We've got like mostly positive from actually a lot of different reviews on the actual demo itself. That's interesting. What's the rating? 76%. That's actually not terrible. So that's not too bad. The Adventure Antimatter. Actually, there is an Antimatter demo. I'll have to try that one. So that one is there. Interesting. Warnament demo. Warnament came out a week ago, I think. Look, interesting game, that one as well. Heart of the Machine demo. This is actually a really interesting game where you. It's a game that I had started recording like a series on, but I just never uploaded it. I do that a lot, where I start a series and then don't do anything with it. Rise of the White Sun, Civ Rise demo, Colonizer demo. Not sure what that is. No idea. There's Old World, actually, the Old World there as well. That's probably my preferred Civ type game. Solar Nations, Civ 5. Let's see if there's any others that we know. God, there's a demo there for Beyond Earth, way back in the day. A lot of these are really quite old. Hexaki's a pretty interesting game. That's a good one. You certainly sort of know. Imperiums is a good game. Again, oldish now. There's a lot of old stuff in here. Anyway, it's just a couple of good ones there. I've already got the Endless Legends demo to sort of have a bit of a crack at, and Antimatter, I definitely want to have a look at that. That looks very, very cool. Now, if we just go back to Browse Games again. One of the games that is actually, I'll just go back through. This is top demos, popular upcoming, new releases, popular discounted. We'll maybe start there. So Age of Wonders at 40%. Let's just go through this list, and because we've missed a few, so we won't cover old ground again. So we'll skip past most of these. This is too old now to really sort of be worrying about. Heart of the Machine, very positive. At least we can sort of see the ratings here a little bit anyway. So very positive with a fair few results in through there. That's quite different, the way it sort of does work. Yield is a game, again, that I had meant to cover, and I just haven't. At 50% off, that's not too bad. Ara History Untold, I never really liked that, to be honest. Just couldn't get into it. And it's mixed reviews as well. So even at 50% off, I would skip over that one. Age of Wonders 3, I would skip over now with Age of Wonders 4 out. Scythe is interesting. There's 70% off for Scythe. There's 1.5 cups of coffee. There's a cup of coffee and half a muffin. Or something like that, I guess, for Scythe. This is a board game, steampunk style. It's based on a board game, Scythe, and it's from 2018, but it's a pretty interesting little board game, that one. For 70% off, I would definitely have that as a game worth grabbing. It's like a steampunk world, but it's very faithful to the board game mechanics, and pretty cool game. It's Iron Fury or something, I think, is the actual is the real-time strategy game of the same based on this particular board game. But the board game itself, very, very cool board game. Star Trek Infinite. There we go. This is the one I was looking for. Shadow Empire, 60% off. If you don't have Shadow Empire, grab it. That is definitely worth having a look at. This is more like a role-play war game with incredible map generation. Like, this is the Dwarf Fortress has probably got the best map generation of its world of any game ever, and there's nothing really close to it. But Shadow Empire would definitely be in second place, and not that far behind it with what it does do with its world creation. It's just incredible what it actually does do. Oh, actually, Dave Flute's saying Scythe was officially abandoned. Sorry, guys, I'm missing a lot of the comments here. I should just read a few more. So Bruce is saying, is the AI better in Dominion 6? Yes, it is. We've got so CB is saying the stack of 3 versus 3 battles in Age of Wonders 4, it just takes too long to play out manually for me. Don't want to spend an hour on one battle. That's a very common comment. And it's sort of one of those things, you can just make a house rule for yourself to auto battle and then just live with the results. But I do like the tactical battles personally, so I really quite enjoy them. Probably in an unhealthy way. I mean, you've got 1 hour the big battles can take up to 1 hour. And they tried to fix it from Age of Wonders 3 to actually make it so that it was more compressed. In fact, even Age of Wonders 3, they tried to fix it from Age of Wonders 2, where the battles could just be enormous, where you're sort of running around all over the castles, and trying to sort of, like within your castle, to try to plug gaps. I used to love it. I loved the Age of Wonders 2 combat. But Age of Wonders 4, they have tried to streamline the combat a lot. Which they have done, so it's nowhere near as long as it used to be in Age of Wonders 3, for example. Age of Wonders 3, they was where they introduced the just a single wall that you were defending rather than a full castle. Whereas in Age of Wonders 2 and beyond, it was actually a full castle that you were defending, and then so it was so that Age of Wonders has always had very, very long tactical battles. But the actual combat in tactical battles in Age of Wonders 4 has always been the best, if you do enjoy that. So, yes, I know what you mean. So Naz is in saying, hey all, picked up Yield, Fall of Rome, and have been enjoying it. A simple Civ-type game. In little chunks you can finish in 1 to 4 hours. Have you tried it? I've got it, but haven't tried much of it, to be honest. So CB's in saying, side question, why hasn't YouTube changed our chat names? On other live streams I've watched, YouTube won't use the nicknames but my actual account name. I'm not sure, actually. I've got no idea. Like, YouTube sort of does my head in, to be honest. Somebody was saying, Endless Legends 2 is still very much early access for me. Amplitude style over substance is in play. Yes. And that's... the Amplitude are incredibly good graphic designers. Like, they really are. Their games look beautiful. But the actual substance of the game is for me, is missing. My day job is as a graphic designer, so I'm sort of used to dealing. I like things that look good. Like I like to. I'm very fussy about certain things. Like even with the types of pens that I use and stuff like that, it's got to be just right. But with gaming, I'm sort of more about the substance than the form. Whereas I do find Amplitude's games tend to be much more about the form than the actual gameplay. And they get away with it because it is so immersive because of the look of it. And so, because then saying, have you taken a look at Era 1, sort of a homeworld style game? I haven't. A few people have actually mentioned it to me, but I haven't actually been able to have a look at that one just yet. So I will actually have a look at that one to see with complex base building elements. It sounds good, actually. There's a few people that have actually spoken to me about that one. Bobby Johnson saying, hey brother, have you heard of Tempest Rising? Yes, I have. That's an oldish game now, I think. So my bad, I thought it was on sale. Yeah, that's Tempest Rising. When was that out? I don't think I've got it. I don't think I've actually played it. I sort of I have to have a look for some of these games. I always like people who recommend or mention games, because I think, I'll have a look at that. Because we do we often have very similar taste in games if you're sort of watching the content. I always think of my channel as more of a community rather than me just playing games, because I actually end up with so many great recommendations for games from you guys, which I really quite enjoy. So Pierre's saying, hey man, you finally convinced me to try Dominion 6. I'm staying with the Warhammer mod for the moment, but I'm having a blast. Yeah, the Warhammer mod is no more complex than the base game. Like, it's just extremely well done. Like, it's really, really well done. That Warhammer mod has been around for years and years and years, and it's been, like, not recently, probably a good year ago now, has been updated for Dominion 6 in a very, very thorough way. So it's a great, great mod to actually sort of play as that one. Shards is saying, GOG already got the spare cash I had. The only issue I have with those versions are obtaining mods in a reasonable way. Yes, the mods can be expensive. Jordan's saying, antimatter demo. Nice, going to try. I didn't realise that was on that the demo was out for that one. And Dave was in sort of saying Scythe was officially abandoned. I don't know if or when that happened, but again, it's just based on a board game, so it's not as if it needed updating, I don't think. Clancy Swain was saying Solaris and Age of Wonders 4 are my all-time favourites. Both are so deep with incredible amounts of replayability because of interesting builds. Yes, 100% agree. Age of Wonders 4 is my favourite game of all time. Like, in the Age of Wonders series is my favourite series of all time. I've always loved their games right from when they first came out. like back in 25 years ago. I was just saying, Amplitude do make good-looking games, and Tempest Rising is pretty new. Pretty new. Okay, I'll have to have a look at that one. Maybe I've got it. I just don't remember it. I'll have to have. I should be jotting these games down. Okay, so where do we get? Violence is saying Avian County. You start with a single ship and you can build an empire. Apparently, yeah. I didn't come up in our little list of games. Yeah, so everyone's saying that Avian Encounter will come out later this year. Bought the game. Crown and Adventure does seem interesting with bigger pixel battles or so. So Star Mage, we saw that before, didn't we? That was in the coming games, I think. So how's Heart of the Machine? I love Arkan Games. Even though they are very hit and miss. Arkan Games are a company again that always brings in really, really interesting game mechanics. And Heart of the Machine is one of those games as well, where you're playing as an AI, and it's sort of so. And what they've done really interesting with Heart of the Machine. In fact, where is that Heart of the Machine? Is that in here somewhere? Yeah, there it is. There. So open her up and have a look, because Heart of the Machine is. You can see it's very positive in through here. 90%, 92%. Again, Hooded Horse. Arkan Games have been around for quite some period of time. What was their first game? I forgot their first game, but it was, again, very, very unique, the way that they sort of had built it. And so what happens here is you're sort of in a city, a randomly generated city to a degree, like there's sort of algorithms around it. And within it, you've got like these different factions that are vying for it. It's sort of like a dystopian future. And so there's AI that are wandering around. There's robots and things that are sort of doing different jobs for humanity. There's some rogue robots. There's all sorts of different stuff going on around on the surface. And you then are essentially just a single AI, and then you end up taking over other AIs, and you're trying to take over the city essentially, and then the world. But in this case, you're really just looking for to take over the city. And you can play in a friendly way or an aggressive way. You've got like a lot of choice. And the way that they've sort of compressed things is that you're not just wandering around in real time. It's almost like you sort of skip to the important sort of interactions straight away. So you're sort of you're going from action to action to action to action, which is actually pretty cool and very, very innovative yet again. That's the way it does sort of work. The game is I was very impressed with it when I was playing it. Just with the the innovation in it was really quite nice. And then you eventually sort of build up and take over bigger and bigger areas. The graphics don't look that engaging, but if you're sort of immersing yourself as being an AI, they're very, very functional. So that's sort of where we are there with that particular game. I'll just skip back that one. So as I said before, we did get to, where do we go with the other one? Did we miss the others? Yes, there's old Dom 5 and stuff. I would skip over that for Dom 6 now. Dom 6 is so much better. AI War. That's it. That was the thanks Star Mage. Yeah, AI War. That was also very, very innovative as a space combat, where you had like very, very large fleets that would end up sort of attacking, but you had to they managed them in an interesting way. Not sure where the other game was that we were looking at. Yeah, we're back up the top there. Yes, I can't see. There it is, Shadow Empire there. Yeah, so we were sort of talking about Shadow Empire before. Definitely grab that if you don't have it. Even at 60%, it's not a great deal as such. It's still good, but it's such a great game, and there's such incredible replay value in Shadow Empire as well. All right, just skip past a few more of these, or read a few more of these questions or comments. Yeah, AI War 1 is a classic game that shouldn't be passed up. Chris Parks is an amazing programmer. Yes, he is. I think from memory, at that time, he was quite young when he actually did AI War, and I think it was he and his uncle put that one together or something. I do remember something about that back in the day. I was quite impressed with the overall. It was, again, one of those passion projects. They've had some really, really good games that they've done over the years. They did another one where you were like a robot inside a spaceship, I think, which was actually cool. I can't remember what that one is. So Clancy's saying, is the new promises or destiny that give you the quest from the start? I'm not sure which game we're talking about. Oh, sorry, Clancy was saying my favourite thing about the new Age Runners 4 DLC. Yeah, it's the new DLC is it's probably my favourite. I think of the whole lot. The new promises that it gives you. Yes, actually, you're saying there that that's what you like about it is that you do start off with a quest. That you can start off with a quest if you choose that, and that is interesting actually. The way it sort of does work, either a combat quest or a taking over a city type quest, which is pretty cool. Okay, so Silvercall saying, any thoughts on the Ashes of the Singularity announcement? I had wanted to actually cover that in this week's chat tactic, and I do want to talk about it, but I wanted to actually dedicate almost like a full chat tactic to it. That's actually coming. It didn't come up in that coming list of games that we saw, which I'm surprised about because I thought it would, and so that's again another one that worth looking at. I was Stardock had asked me to have a look at that as well, but I did have a time frame that they gave me, and I'm not sure. I was going to cover it today, but then I thought, no, the specials here really need to be this one needs to be about these specials. So I'm not sure when that actually will come in. So I do mean to cover that and talk in depth about that one, but today's not the day to do that, I don't think. So there we go. Hi Kat, how you going? Saying lots of games for Dad Tactics. So Clancy Swain is saying, I forgot what they're called, but in your playthrough it's the older quest that gives you a city to take from the start. Yeah, it's the I forget which ones we're playing as well, to be honest. Hopefully need to do some babysittings. Be back later, says Cithel. Okay, well, good luck with that. To is then saying best Steam sales were in the past. Today mostly disappointing. I'm finding the actual number of games that are must-haves are pretty amazing, actually. I'm actually very impressed with this Steam sale. So I did title this one, is this the best Steam sale ever? And for me, it's a yes. From my perspective, but not for Torsvit, saying that you've had there have been cheaper deals, but I think that the actual range of games that we've got, and also the percolation of the games, like the actual condensing of the actual, there's not a real lot of shit in amongst the really good games. There's just a lot of really good games here. So and Guy Bellaby is saying there's now a demo of Fenty Matter. Yes, will you be covering it? Yeah, I do plan to. Yeah, after seeing what it did do, so I'll be downloading that pretty much after we finish up today, I think. So I'll sort of get that one downloaded. All right, some of these are fairly old now. Some of these other games. There we go. Fallen Enchantress, Legendary Heroes. I would wait until we sort of start to see more content coming. Like that's going to be coming with Elemental. So I would buy, even at 80% off, I would bypass that for now. Interstellar Space Genesis, great space Forex game. So this one here is 67% off. That's good if you haven't played that one before. Just go through a few of these. A Warlock, Master the Arcane. I think this is the original. I don't think that's the... let's have a quick look and see that one. If that's 75% off for everything, then that's worth getting. And no, it's not worth getting. Don't worry about it. Don't get that one. What you want is you want Warlock 2. So by the World of Ardonia bundle. That's so you're looking for Warlock 2. If that was a full Warlock 2, I would definitely recommend it, but not Warlock 1. So sorry, Warlock 1. That's you don't rate. Old Ozymandias, a little bit old now. Not the greatest deals. Dom 5, I would pass that up for Dom 6. What else is there? Just see if there's anything else. I'll just do one more. See if there's anything sort of more recent. Oh, there we go. Warlock 2. All right. Here we go. So we do actually have Warlock 2, but is it the full kit? If it's only the base game, pass it up as well. So here we go. Let's have a look and see. You see it's mixed, and it's a deserved mix, by the way, the base game. But now, what do we get with all of the DLC? Buy this bundle to save it 25% on all 8 items. 58%. It's still $30. That's a hard one. Now, some of these you don't need. So you can get some of these you do. Okay, let's start at the start. Let's start at the start. What you need if you're going to play this game is the only reason you're buying this game is to play the Renaissance mod by Chumley. That's the only reason you're doing it. This is one of the best mods ever made. So what you need is Wrath of the Nagas, the Thrilling Trio, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the 3 Mighty Mages, and Spectacular Spells. So you need those 5 DLCs. And the base game as well to then go and get this particular mod. The mod itself is unbelievably good, and this fixes a lot of the problems with the base game. So if this was the base game, like if this was actually what the base game was, it would not be rated as mixed. It would be rated as very positive, I would think. It's just it really does change things in a very, very dynamic way. So you don't want to just get the base game though, because you do need these DLCs as well. Like if I click on these, let's have a quick look and see what the specials are so far for all of these. 50% off. For those 5, that's not bad, I guess. It's still $10. That was the big one though. That was the big one. The next one here is only $3. That's Australian dollars, but $3, $3, $3. So you don't need all 8. You don't need the full bundle at $30. But to be honest, by the time you put them all together, you sort of almost got them all anyway. The soundtrack you don't need. The ebook you don't need. So there's $7 you've saved. That's 1 cup of coffee you don't have to get. We've got the Wrath of the Nagas. So they're looking at all of these really. So you're looking at those bottom ones, 75% off, 50, 50, 50, 50. You don't need those other 2. You can sort of skip those, get rid of them. But these, if you wanted to play that mod, and that mod is unbelievably good. Like it's an oldish game now, but with that mod, it's incredibly good. So yeah, it's a hard one. It's not cheap enough to say it's a definite. Like it's just not cheap enough. But and the base game really isn't worth it on its own. Like don't think I'll get the base game, see if I like it, and then I'll get the other things. It really isn't good. So you can see it's oldish as well, but the actual game itself is with that mod unbelievably good. So. So we've got Dave Flute saying Warlock 2, the Exile Complete Edition. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth $30 to be honest, for even playing that mod. It's a bit old, so I would probably pass that one up, but don't bother getting that one right off the bat. Immortal Realms I never liked. Let's have a quick look and see if there's anything else. So there we go, there's Emperor of the Fading Sun. It's only 20% off. It's a cheapish game anyway, so not a great deal there, but does rate very positively. This is an old school game, but it has recently sort of had some other improvements. So you can see the original Knights of Honor, like from 2009, very positive, back and through there, 75% off. I wouldn't bother with that though now, to be honest. It is now too old. What else have we got through there? Master of Magic Classic. This is I wouldn't worry about that one either, unless you can sort of get the full amount. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that one, even though it's cheap again. I'll just do one more click on this. Stars in Shadow. This was a great game when it was out. It's a bit old now, but 85% off. I would still say that's probably worth having a look at, possibly. There's AI War that we were talking about before, 75% off. A bit old now, like 2009. So we're looking at some fairly old games now, just seeing if there's anything a bit more recent. Do one more click. Polaris Sector 2016. That was a good game. I enjoyed that. Probably a bit old though now, to be honest, so I wouldn't recommend it. Age of Wonders 2, loved it back in the day, but too old now. Shadow Magic, great game, but too old now as well. And this, by the way, the 2010 is when it came to Steam, not when it was released. It was released in like 2005 or 2004. So yes, very, very old. Yeah, a lot of these are fairly old now. Yeah, I won't keep on having a look at that. But there's what I really liked about this not stale. It was the quality of just all of the games. Like when you have a look at them, there's just some really, really good games. So I thought this was a very, very good collection of games to have a look at, just in terms of sort of grabbing them. Is there anything else you wanted to have a look at before we do go in? I mean, the popular upcoming. Where's the singularity? Should be. I would have thought it was. I would have thought it would have been in here. I do want to cover that in a lot of detail, but it's not actually coming up in the list. I'll just do one quick search for it because it is worth having a look at it. Ashes of the Singularity. It may have a date. So we've got, now this is the old one. Actually, there we go. Ashes of the Singularity 2. To be announced is the release date. And so I will be covering this in some depth, but this is like these massive RTS games. And I've always, again, it's a bit like the other games we were talking about, like, Dune and games like that, where there's like a real lot of stuff going on. I do find it a bit overwhelming. And as long as it's got an active pause, you can get around it. So I find Distant Worlds relaxing. It's sort of funny because that's real time as well, but I find that much more relaxing. Whereas games like this, it's all about just constant fighting, which it's sort of interesting for me. So I'm looking forward to trying this one out as well. So Avian is then saying AI War might be old, but there really isn't anything like it. And someone saying Daz, it's not on sale, but did you try King's Vein? No, I didn't. I've never even heard of that one. So that's new to me. So Bruce is saying one game I would highly recommend is Song of Six. Never goes on sale. I've tried playing that as well, and I've just find I start playing it and then just start playing Dwarf Fortress. For me, I just go straight to Dwarf Fortress. Hi Lucid, how are you going? Saying I wanted to get the mod, but really struggled to justify buying the DLC for a mod. Now, guys, Lucid, we were just talking about before. So I gave you a big shout out before, Lucid, about your Dominions videos. So I had recommended that people actually look at your Dominion 6 videos in particular, because we spent a bit of time just talking about Dominion 6, but Lucid. I don't want to just say is the best player of Dominion 6 because he'll say he's not, but I think he is. He's certainly the best player of Dominion 6 that I've ever come across, and really knows his stuff when it does come to Dominion 6. So a bit of a shout out there for Lucid. Anyway, welcome in. But yeah, no, Warlock is hard to justify with that sort of price. $30 for playing a mod is too much. That's too much. Okay, so Katson saying Total War, Medieval and Beginning End Times mod is a total conversion of the game to Warhammer Universe. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That's an oldish game again now, but so if you like Warhammer Fantasy and can't afford Total War, you can get that. Yeah, interesting. So, Lucy's laughing and saying thanks. Yeah, no, it's... but seriously, if you're trying to get into Dominions... all the different video content around is some really, really good content, and Lucid does a lot of that content. So by all means, have a bit of a look around if you're trying to get into Dominions. There'll be more Age of Wonders 4 gameplay. Yes, the reason I don't do back to back all the way through is because it kills my channel. What ends up happening is when you start to play a series of games like that. I'll be doing more on the weekend, I'm sure of it, like in the coming days. But when you do actually start to play those games fairly thoroughly, you actually then start to lose people who watch your channel because they think you're only playing one type of game, which is still true. So it's even playing 2 games in a row, you end up losing people that watch what you do. So it's sort of one of those things. And I don't really care much about the health of the channel, to be honest. I just more want to play the games I want to play. But I am mindful of trying to spread them out a little bit once I get past a couple of episodes. But I won't be able to hold myself back, I don't think. So there definitely will be more Age of Wonders 4 gameplay in the coming days. Somebody playing say, I did grab Fallen Enchantress for a cup of coffee, but just remember, guys, you've got Elemental coming up very, very soon. When do we get that one? Elemental Reforged. So that's why I'm not sure when this is coming, but it's coming soon. And this is essentially Fallen Enchantress, Elemental, and there's the third one which I bounced off basically. Sovereign Kings or something. I forget what it's called. It'll be in here somewhere. But this is Elemental is looking forward to the reforging of that one. This is like a more than a remastering, but not a Elemental 2. So just be aware of that. Dave is then sort of saying, have you tried Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup? It's free. I haven't heard of that one. And Clancy is then saying, do you know anything about Bonaparte, Mechanized Revolution? I see it here, but I've never heard of it. Funny thing is that I did a search on Steam for Napoleon just a few days ago. Yes, I've actually, it's a weird game. It's a weird game. I've actually got it in my list. Where is it? Where is it? This Heart of the Machine. It should be in one of these areas in through here, or is still just sitting in my list of games to have a bit more of a look at. There it is. There. I'll open it up and show you. What's weird about it? It's I actually am not going to be doing content on it, but it's sort of it's a strange game. I'll just allow access. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, hang on. Yeah. If you go in, it's sort of, you think it's actually the Napoleonic warfare is something that people actually really do like. But if I just go into new game, what it's not what you think it is. So it's not historical, and so. Yeah, the once glorious kingdom of France teeters on the brink of collapse. Common people starve, the bourgeoisie, cafe in unfair taxation, blah, blah, blah. Riots, the first time invoice king, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'll just go through all this. We'll just keep on going back through. Rank of captain, here we go. Summon, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'll just keep on skipping through. You only encounter Colossi in training. See, what it is you've got these giant mechs. And anyway, that's there we go. So they're all, each side has got these giant mechs, and so it's all about fighting with mechs. So I was trying to skip past all this stuff. Actually, I can skip there. There we go. Skip. So it's sort of about controlling, using the mechs to fight for you, and so you end up in these situations where you're using mechs to sort of. It looks interesting from a tactical perspective, but it's not very deep. And then you've got this. It's not historical even slightly. So in terms of and I know most people. This is an interesting game in the sense that it's actually got some interesting mechanics from what I saw with it. I didn't play it for very long because I was thinking, most people who search for Napoleonic warfare are looking for history. They're history buffs, and that's not going to satisfy that. So that's sort of one of those things where it's sort of like it's just weird, and doesn't really it's not. It's just a weird. It's a weird addition. Like it's sort of. I think even calling it Napoleon is a mistake. So it's sort of. It's because it's people are going to. I think people. I don't know what it rates actually, but people are going to come into it and actually be disappointed by it. I think because they're looking for historical content. So yeah, exactly. Saying, "Lol, that's funny." Yes. Hi, orangutans. How you going? Yeah, Napoleon Electronics. Yeah, there we go. Says Course Lord. It's an unusual one. Another game that actually is like that you saw there. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of story that goes on as well. It's like a bit of a role play game. But if you're sort of interested in those sort of games, one game I would highly recommend. That is incredible to play is Brigandine. I haven't played this for a long time, but this one here is a fantasy game, but it's character driven, but in a very open way, and it's it's very much a JRPG, like a Japanese role play game. Just gonna grab myself a drink of water while this loads in. It'll just be one tick. this has been out for a few years now, this one, but this is non-special, but it's just if like that Napoleon game reminds me of Brigandine, and Brigandine is an incredible game. Probably one of these games that no one's ever heard of, to be honest. I got to a point where I was doing a live stream series on it, and I got to the final little push with a battle, but I sort of haven't finished it off, so I've got to continue there. But if I just go into a new game, you've got different. You've got to clear off some of these actually aren't. I haven't even unlocked these yet, but I was very impressed. I've only got this one here where I can sort of go and play that one or the tutorial. You've got different factions you can then go and play. It's very, very tactical, like in what it does do, and yet it's very JRPG as well. It's Japanese. I don't know if I can skip this. It's actually, that's the other thing about this one, it's a bit weird with it's more for a controller, more so than a mouse and keyboard. So you've end up, it's sort of, like it's got different premises. We got all these different kingdoms where you sort of then choose, and you've got like a character, and the characters, one of the interesting things, if you do like the character style of things in what they do, is the characters themselves actually have got unique dialogue with nearly every other character in the game, and there are a lot of characters. So as we sort of go back through to different areas, again, it's got this very much JRPG sort of approach. These are sort of like almost like wood elves backing through there. This is sort of like a bit more of a it's almost like a sort of Russian sort of style approach for that particular kingdom. This one here is sort of like the High Knights type stuff. Down through here, you've got pirates through these islands, and so they all play fairly uniquely. And then we're back to Norzello, sort of like just a basic sort of human type kingdom. And so you've got, you can sort of then, it's more that you end up trying to use the keyboards. You get used to it fairly quickly. So, actually I'll just go no. But this is the tactical combat in this game is actually very, very good. It's just that it does have a lot of dialogue with it as well. Anyway, I won't keep on playing it, but that's actually something that you may, if you like those sort of role play type games, and this one, the tactical combat in this is really exceptionally good, but also it does actually have a story as well. A story that's randomly, like as you do things, it sort of it doesn't push you along in one direction. It actually then has dialogue with whoever you happen to meet, and so it sort of ends up, the stories can be different every time you play it, which is actually very, very cool. Return to the title screen. Yes, I'll just quit out of there. But that is a game again that is worth having a look at if you do like those sort of games. Just quit the game out of there. But yeah, it very much feels like it should be just with a controller, which I don't have connected. So Katzen saying, you did the campaign with the Holy Gustava Empire, super good game. Yes, it's a it's an underrated game. Like, you don't even hear about it. Oh, it is 50% off. There we go. Well, that actually works. I didn't think it would be. I didn't actually think it would be. Yeah, it was made for PlayStation apparently. There we go. And the Switch. It's definitely a Switch type game. But a very, very good game. Clancy's saying, yeah, definitely not what I expected. Is there any good historical Napoleon games on Steam? Not really, to be honest. It's sort of not an era that's really covered all that well. I know that people have been hoping that at some point the Field of Glory games will end up sort of doing Napoleonics. I don't know what's next for them, but I know that they're sort of now looking at that whatever the next big thing is. Yeah, so it's John Monkey saying, so it's not very linear story-wise. Not at all, no. It's you actually, Katz is saying, no, you take decisions and get different heroes. Yes, and the heroes, that's the interesting thing about it. The heroes, some of the heroes get on with the other heroes and other heroes don't. The heroes are important as the leaders of your army. They have dialogue, as I said before, very unique dialogue, nearly with every hero, with every other hero. So you can think of the combination of what they've had to do, and it's complex dialogue, and it's actually so if you like story but don't like it being linear, so if you want sort of like an open story that's very, very well done, then Brigandine at 50% off, that's good value. I didn't see that in our list as we were going through things, but that's yeah, that's definitely, if that's 50% off, I would say, I don't know what the actual what that is. It's sort of funny it didn't come up in our list, actually. Let's have a look and see. We'll just go to Browse Games again and just go to the full list. Did we go through all of those? That's popular upcoming. I'll just go to all. I'll just see if there's anything else in here that we've sort of missed that I do know about. There's a lot of games I don't know about. Well, let's see. It's not even on special. Some of these things. It's got to be on special. Hang on. We'll just go to top sellers. I think we're going to get. We're still going to get others coming in here as well. Popular discounted. We'll just go that way. But Brigandine, if that's in the list here, then that should be about 50% off. I would recommend that. That would be another one. I'll just keep on skipping through just to see how far down we got. Maybe we just didn't quite get far enough. It's sort of funny. I always hoped that games like Ascension would sort of be similar with what they do, but they're just not as like Brigandine is really special. Like it's very, very well done. Just having a quick look now. We got past all this, I think. I don't think we got much further than this. Yeah, we do remember those. Remember these as well, actually. Yeah, I think we got down to Age of Wonders and then sort of stopped at that point. Yeah, these 20% off of Wizard Warfare 2, probably not really enough of a go. Pandora First Contact is like the precursor to Gladius. Decisive Campaign, 30% off, not a great special. Looks like Slytherin haven't really pushed their the specials much. I mean, we do actually have 60% off there for Shadow Empire, which is great. This is by the way the same dev, single dev has done these decisive campaigns. These are very good if you also if you're interested in World War II history. These are quite historic, but also do give you the Shadow Empire sort of feel. So they're not random, but they're very, very well done. Here we go. Empire Deluxe. I actually quite like that game at 10% off. It's not worth it. See if there's any others in through here. Victoria 1. Yeah, a lot of these are. There's Sorcerer King again. That's sort of going to be packaged in with the new Elemental. So I'd be more waiting with the new Elemental for that one. But I'm not seeing very many what are they called? Slytherin games in this, to be honest. I thought there'd be more. These are getting fairly old, a lot of these. That's the end of the list. So Brigandine didn't even feature in that full list. It should be there. It's a strategy game. So let's go and search for Brigandine. Yeah, 50% off. That's worth it, guys. It's not in the actual sale, but it should be. It's a very, very good strategy game. The combat is very, very cool. It's cool. So you got like 85% over time. It's only a few years out, so it's relatively new. But very, very well done. Like the actual combat, let's have a look and see if we can see some of these. Like that's this is a bit complex to see that sort of combat. What you do is you end up managing your. What I'll do, sorry, I'll just go and quit out of that for a second. I'll just press F11, try to make it a bit bigger. So what you end up having is you've got. Different creatures come from different provinces, and so when you take over provinces, you can then recruit different sorts of creatures that come in with different level ups. So you can see there, like level 24 heroes backing through this other side, level 10 units backing through this other side. So these are all very, very high level 15 in through there. Then you've got some low level guys, and leveling them up is important, and you do get choices as you sort of make as you build your army. And so then the army is sort of has got different abilities, and so you can't just go with one type of army. And so that is actually something that it's fairly interesting the way it sort of does work. And so these are the various types of troops and heroes and things that you can sort of then go and bring back through. Just go to next. This is sort of what the actual gameplay looks like, where you've actually then got like the summary of, I forget what these symbols are down through here. Whether it's the recruitments, I forget how that one actually does work. But then you've got like your own list of heroes. So Lanster, which was up in the top here, has sort of got out to this point. In fact, we've got 6 heroes total. It's got 6 there, but then two in there. I'm not sure how that's working. That's 6 heroes at Lanster. So they've got these heroes here, 16 in their army. That's what that would actually then be. And that's the combat rating of the full army. I think that's the income. So we're sort of looking at just that one little location at the top there. So select a base with knights and issue commands. And so you're sort of taking it. It's a I forget if it's WeGo or turn-based. I forget which way it actually does work. It's been a while since I've actually played it. So this is actually then the combat where it sort of comes in, where you've got like all these different sort of hit points, but the different units do different things against other units as well. So putting them on the right terrain is important. See if I can find some more detail. This is information. It's very important to know what your either heroes or your units actually then end up going and doing. There's a lot of detail in the game as well. Like this one here, that's got different equipment. There's a hero unit. This is the Wood Elf faction, or the Talia, her name is. They're all sort of scantily clad JRPG characters as well. But but this is again, it's sort of funny because the graphics make it seem like it's frivolous, like in the way it plays, but it's actually very, very cool in terms of what it does do. This is like a level 1 rock with the hit points, so on and so forth. As it's leveling up, it gets some random numbers are generated. So each unit is unique ultimately, just with what does come through. So this is select monster to summon in. So again, you can sort of then bring in the various monsters to then add to your group. It's just very, very nicely done. This is like a wyvern, I think. Wyvern. It becomes a Quetzal at level 10 and a Bahamut at level 20. So it it evolves over time. So if you can sort of get them to level up, you then get sort of like a next level type unit. So this is a sort of dialogue that they end up having. That's the over map. This, I'm not sure what that is. Choose ruler and subordinate knights. This is sort of like the setup where each knight again has their own sort of ability. So that's the 12 shots in through there. If I go back, we're not sort of really seeing too much of the combat. The combat is really where the game does shine. Yeah, in here, this is sort of like more of the combat, but it's just really, really well done. Like the combat is probably where you spend a good portion of your time in the actual game itself. So would highly recommend that one. Anyway, guys, I think we should start to wind up. I don't have any giveaways today, unfortunately. So I'll just read more of the comments and sort of go from there. Cat is in saying the pirates are the most annoying to deal with. There we are. And the forest people with huge magical beasts. Yeah, I actually quite like the forest. I think when I played the game, I played as the forest people. So I'll have a look. I'll just open it up just to sort of see where I got to. I sort of left it probably a couple of years ago now. Just minimise. I'll just open it up again. I know that I was playing it and playing it and playing it, and I didn't want to keep on. Like I knew that again I was losing views because I was playing it too much at that point, and I just had one big last push to do. I'll just open up where I got to with it. It's been a long time, so I'd need to really have a close look at it. But I destroyed I've covered all of the actual main world. If I just go continue, just try that one and see where we are. So it's just loading in. Yeah, so you got the organisation phase with what it does do. So that's Lancer there. Hang on, is this a new game? Oh, this is a new game. Yeah, this is the new game in through here. So that's playing. It's the start of the game with all the different factions of what they actually have. If we go to H, it just tells me sort of like what can be recruited at different locations. But that's not what I wanted. That's not the one I was trying to find. If I just go back out, it's hard. It's confusing with the keyboard shortcuts. Menu, return to title screen. Yes, if I just go and load in, because the sort of late game is where I got to in the end, but I never actually finished it, and I always meant to come back in and finish it off. Yeah, that was where we got to, I think. So I was playing as the wood elf people. Just see where we got to with this one here. But yeah, I'd recommend this game. Attack phase. Yeah, so you can see at this stage, very close to the end. So I've only got these few in here to finish it off. I've taken over everything else. So I just had a little bit left to do, and I had sort of like these big armies. I forget why I passed it up. I think this is all I've got to do. It's just literally finish off. I've got like a couple of turns to do to finish this whole thing off. So I've got like my main army is in here, for example. So I've got the and so I can then sort of go and say, okay, look, you can attack into there. So you can't. So you move from location to location. If I just right click, I just can skip back out. So I've got some armies there. So this one here, for example, I do actually have some forces. So if I go to the base info, you can sort of see the actual different characters, like level 11s in through there. These are like this. There's heaps of heroes, and as I said before, they all have interaction with each other, and they all have different abilities. Like this is a cleric, that one there is a minstrel, and a rogue, so more like a thief type unit. And standby, I'm not sure. Yeah, I've got no points left to be able to bring this one in, so they're full. Like they can't really do much else. If I just right click, I can then sort of come back out. So they've got like nearly 10,000 points there. We've got 17,000 there. If I just go into this particular location, just go to base info. So I've got a level 20. These are fairly good. This is a saint, a wizard, and a archer. But I've forgotten like what I was doing with them all. But you can see they're fairly well leveled up. We don't have any real big points that I can move across. These are the points cost. So this is pretty full. This particular group. There's nothing really left in any of these. There's a 40 there, but I can recruit one of these if I had 80 points left over. So if I had stuff I could shuffle around, like that's a 35. So for example, I could move that one up into there, I think. No, hang on, I forget how to do it all now. But anyway, it's pretty cool the way it does sort of work. And then you sort of go off and attack the... so it would be a matter of attacking that one, possibly with that army there. I've got another 17,000 there as well. I think these may have already been moved. So I literally think I've only got like a few more battles to do. There's my leaders there, and that's the enemy leader there. If I go to base info, we then sort of see what they've got. So this is the pirates, exactly what Kat was saying. This is the last lot that we have to deal with. So she's the queen of the pirates, pirate queen. Berserker, Vikings, back and through there. They've got a fair few. This is sort of like the leftovers. I think these are damaged. These are different units that they've picked up. So that's the sorcerer. Yeah, there's just, but all these, every single unit has interaction with other units. It's pretty cool. So if I was going to be attacking that one, it looks like they've had to run back to this location. If I just right click, I forget how to do this now. Yeah, I forgot how to do it. Anyway, I won't keep on playing it, but it's but I was very impressed with this game. Return to the title screen, yes, and yeah, I'll have to finish that off one day. But I just never finished it. In the end, it was like, oh, there's too many things happening. Yeah, because I just couldn't quite get to the end of it. Orangutans are saying marbles for bragging rights. Well, I can't really do it because you guys in Twitch automatically get to play, whereas the YouTube guys don't. So we could finish it off, I guess, but it would only be for Twitch. That's why I only ever really stream this usually to back out to the to YouTube. It's because I can manufacture a marble run with YouTube, but with Twitch, with running it through Twitch, it's automatic through Twitch, which is why Twitch is better for doing this sort of content. But it's but I did find a way to use Marble Run to do the giveaways. So it's sort of, unfortunately, I can't actually combine the two groups, so I don't think we'll do a Marble Run. But I will actually leave it here, guys. So I really do like this sale. I like the games that are in it, and I I know that we've seen sort of better actual specials at times, but the quality of the games I was very, very impressed with. And yeah, some really good games in there as well. I don't know why Brigandine isn't part of that list. That should be. Like it is a well, it says it's a Forex. It is a Forex game actually. It is a Forex game. So yeah, but there's some more games that really are really true Forex. But there's a few games in there that aren't Forex as well. So yeah, Brigandine definitely should have been in that list. Interesting that it is on special though. So sort of I guess it's pseudo in that list. Anyway, guys, going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. And I'll catch you tomorrow, I guess. Actually, I don't know if I could be able to stream today. I don't think I'll have time to do another stream. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I'll have to see how I go. Anyway, because there's a lot of games. I would like to sort of play some of those demos. Anyway, I'll catch you guys.